The year 2020 started with promise. The country had already gone through 4 years of the Buhari change agenda and was now a year into what was termed the next level agenda. While his first term focused on security, anti-corruption fight and economic growth, his second term, which kicked off in 2019, promised to focus on 5 key areas: jobs, infrastructure, business development, human capital enhancement in education and healthcare, and political inclusion. The country was to be on a growth trajectory, and then the unexpected happened. The world was hit with a pandemic that brought world economies to their knees and exposed just how weak Nigeria's institutions are.
Hello, Nigerians.
President Muhammadu Buhari swung into action, ordering a complete lockdown save for essential services.
I am directing the cessation of all movements in Lagos and the FCT for an initial period of 14 days with effect from 11 p.m. on Monday, 30th March 2020.
The lockdown helped reduce the spread of the pandemic, but it was devastating to the economy. The budget was revised in July to 10.8 trillion naira, 71.5 billion naira more than was initially approved. The economy eventually plunged into a recession. The plan for jobs to engage 1 million graduates and scale up 10 million could not be achieved by the end of 2020. In terms of infrastructure, the second Niger Bridge reached 33% completion in 2020, as well as the $1.6 billion Lagos-Ibadan railway project. In business entrepreneurship development, the People Money Scheme, Trader Money, Market Money, and Farmer Money schemes targeted 10 million Nigerians from 2.3 million in 2015. The government, under the Economic Sustainability Plan, implemented the Survival Fund, which has commenced disbursement to 500,000 beneficiaries. The Payroll Support Scheme, which has paid close to 350,000 beneficiaries, while 166,000 artisans have benefited from the Artisan and Transport Scheme. The promise of 35% of political appointments going to women was not kept. Of the president's 44-member cabinet, only 7 are women. 2020 saw the need for perhaps the largest call for police reform in the country, following nationwide protests against extrajudicial killings and harassment by the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS.
The disbanding of SARS is only the first step in our commitment to extensive police reform in order to ensure that the primary duty of the police and other law enforcement agencies remains the protection of lives and livelihoods of our people.
Despite this announcement and attempts to meet the 5-for-5 demands of the protesters, the protests continued, particularly at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos.
This year, we're not falling for the same lies, okay?
The shootings in Lekki were condemned worldwide, and the president directed that panels of inquiry be set up across the country to investigate all cases of police brutality. President Muhammadu Buhari's war on corruption took a massive hit in 2020. Despite the president's anti-corruption stance, the head of the anti-corruption agency, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, was himself investigated for acts of corruption by a committee set up by the president.
So, thank you very much.
Nigeria also managed to dip 2 places in the Transparency International Corruption Index, rating 146th out of 198. Security has remained a major challenge for the president, with a rise in kidnappings, banditry, and Boko Haram attacks. Most notable is the killing of at least 43 rice farmers in Borno State in November of 2020, and the kidnapping of over 300 boys from the government secondary school in Kankara, Katsina State. The boys were released 6 days later. The Buhari administration still has 2 years and 2 months to fulfill its promises, especially ensuring a better life for Nigerians, improving Nigeria's corruption perception, and keeping the country secure. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.